I want to just welcome everybody to our annual Peace Festival in celebration of the International Month of Peace. My name is Heidi Mahano. I'm the Executive Director for the Peaceful World Foundation. I want to take this moment and introduce our program facilitator for today, Julian Carrillo.
Of course. Good morning, afternoon, or just a happy day to everybody. My name is Julian, and I'm currently in Washington, D.C., as is Heidi, actually, but elsewhere. Um, just a brief visit here, but I'm actually on the fifth floor of the National Museum of African American History and Culture. It's a wonderful, wonderful space. I have a good dear friend that works here, and she was very nice to reserve a boardroom. You could see this beautiful sky behind me. I feel like
Wow.
on top of the world. So welcome everybody.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Julian.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Karen. So good that you're joining us.
Okay, and I see Tamara's just joining in. This event here is pretty special for all of us. It's our 10th year anniversary, and we started off with a big celebration. And I will pass it over to Julian, who will give us a little bit of an introduction to our event for today.
Thank you, Heidi. Yes, we will firstly be sharing some reflections on a recent in-person gathering of Peaceful World staff and collaborators in Petaluma, California. We will also be sharing some reflections on the art show titled A Movement Towards Peace, Then and Now. It is an art show that honored the work of our founder, the late Sami Sunchild.
Thank you, Julian. So like Julian shared, this is a special year for us. It's a tribute to our founder, Sami Sunchild's artwork and her legacy, this legacy of supporting and encouraging other nonprofit organizations in their peace-building efforts. And as a tribute to this 10-year anniversary, I wanted to share a little bit about the theme of the art exhibit, which was titled Towards a Movement of Peace, Then and Now. About a year ago, I started thinking about how are we going to do this? Where do I begin telling the story of this woman's legacy and everything that we've been doing for the last 10 years? And it dawned on me that what I needed to do was to begin pulling out the artwork, Sami's artwork which has been stored, hasn't seen the day of light for 10, 15 years. And during that movement of pulling out these, some of them were 6x4 pieces of artwork, some were small, others were bigger, but all of a sudden the office was filled with colorful texture and shapes and the peace symbol. I mean, there was so much peace symbol in the office. It just brought alive this movement of peace. And so through that movement, it just seemed to activate something in me. And I had this question about movement with people, movement with art. And I wanted to just give a celebration of what was it like to bring peace into manifestation through the symbol? And what does the peace symbol mean and who designed it? So with this movement, after 12 months of hard work, planning, organizing, that movement came to reality when the staff that you see here on Zoom, our board members, and Karen Collins, who's a recipient of our Peace Builder Award, came together in celebration. And Genesis here will start off with a couple of pictures to highlight that movement. So here we are after dinner on a stroll along the Petaluma riverfront. And there was so much vibrancy, so much excitement. And we were getting ready for the art show. The following day, when we came into this exhibit, it was just buzzing with creativity, vibrancy, people storing and sharing their understanding of the peace movement when they were growing up. A large majority of people in the Petaluma Art Center membership group are people in their late 60s, early 70s. And it just ignited this wonderful movement of conversation. People were looking at Sami's artwork and conversing. People made new friends. And of course, at the end of it, all of us came together around the fire. And Star, Tamara's mother and Sami Sunchild's adopted daughter, storied and shared experiences along with Karen Collins. And we just created new memories in that evening. Perhaps Karen or Genesis would love to share what you took away from this event.
It was an experience. In the back of my mind during the whole thing, I was thinking, I wish I could have met her. Someone that was that progressive in her thinking at her age and that could bring people together for conversation about humanity. That was what impressed me. I don't know, I could feel uh, the spirit of the organization about her and what she did. I saw the pictures of everybody sitting at the table, and we need more of that all over the country, I think. So I was very impressed, just overwhelmed that I was even there. I kept asking you, "What am I doing here?" But now I understand. I'm a part of it. So I was just overwhelmed and thinking, and I met her daughter and her granddaughter. That was something. And we all had a very good time and talked, amongst ourselves about everyday life. So that was a good thing. And San Francisco was absolutely marvelous. I just loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so great to see my team and of course meet Miss Karen. I feel like already knew her so well. We actually met. She was initially, one of the guests at our conversations. Eventually hosted one, and is now our Peace Builder recipient. So it just, it's great to meet people, flesh and bones, like the good old days. And of
Mhm.
course, yeah, and of course, it was also great to learn about the conversations that were being held in the Red Victorian. I remember they had one of the exhibits had just notes from guests that they'd written, and some even shared like how they were in the Red Victorian during the 9/11 and how
Mhm.
they had felt so much comfort being safe in the Red Victorian at the time. And others were just beautiful drawings and thanking Sami for hosting the conversation. So it felt
Mhm.
like we were honoring that. We were bringing that into the modern day and still having those conversations like we are now. And I
Mhm.
remember one thing that I loved too, and I think one of the reporters caught a picture of it, but we had a setup of a table and a chair that used to be in the Red Victorian, and people
Mhm.
actually sat down and started having a conversation.
Mhm.
I love that because, usually at the exhibits, it's like, don't touch the artwork. But here,
Mhm.
we're like, please engage with the artwork.
Mhm.
And it was just so special. I was so grateful. I first met Heidi at a conversation, and it just felt like a full circle moment where we're really honoring our founder.
I just wanted to say, like, thank you so much, Heidi and Julian and everyone for like bringing this whole show together. Like, it was totally amazing. Um, I just wanted to say that I'm so thankful to have been a part of this. Thank you, Heidi, for all your hard work.
Thank you, Tamara.
I'll just add very quickly that for those that were not there present, the exhibit had the artwork, of course, but also a section on the history of this foundation, right? And for what it did for me was really inspire me to think about what the next 10 years can look like, right?
Mhm.
And to kind of dream a little bit that so far we've impacted, the Bay Area organizations doing incredible work, and also kind of very organically formed this team, including Karen, who's in Southern California, um, Hennessy's across in Florida, like, and myself, Tamra, are in Albuquerque. So we're kind of spread around, but we've got this connection that we've built very organically. So it's just a very inspiring moment to think about what else can we do if this was done, in 10 years, little by little, mainly by Heidi, really, and her board. Now that there's a greater team, I'm just wondering what else can happen. What can the next 10 years look like? That's what inspired me.
Thank you, Julian, for that. One of the things that did happen was a lot of creativity. I don't know if it was that summer sun, but I wanted to also share what took place during that exhibit. Genesis will pull up a couple of pictures for us. We had a colleague of ours, Ernesto Olmos, present a beautiful piece and a musical performance called Native Sounds of the Heart. Very participatory, and he went ahead and shared instruments, and we had a conversation around the healing nature of music and how music can really amplify love that we hold instinctively in our hearts. The other event that we had was an in-person live event at the Petaluma Regional Library with one of our grantees from Aqua's Community Foundation. One of their programs is Petaluma Conversations. And here you can see that one of the topics we shared was family relations. And John Crowley, he's the executive director for the Petaluma Conversations out of Aqua's Foundation, broke this group into small groups, about 5 to 4 people in each group, so that people can have private conversations in that small group around family relations and around the topics that they hold dear to their hearts. And after that, we came together in a bigger circle to exchange. And one of the things that one of the ladies shared, again, from her heart, was how important it felt for her to be heard, to be listened at this conversation table. And oftentimes she finds herself quite lonely without that camaraderie or others to share. So we see the impact that we have in the community. This other post was while the exhibit was up, we had children coming in during an after-school care program. And here they're exchanging about visual art, what they see, what colors were used. And from what I understood with the volunteers that led that group, said that the children actually found that gallery to be one of their favorite pieces, was the peace sign and their curiosity around the peace sign. And then for our closing event, we had Gary Muzinski, one of our grantees from One World Music, and he led us through a conversation on the power behind music as a symbol of conversation. So there comes our closing for this event. For it actually, the gallery felt like a container of something really wonderful, and so many seeds came out of it. And here we are together in celebration of the rest of this year together.
It was definitely a healing moment just for me and my family, honestly, for me and my mother to have been able to enjoy this project together. Honestly, it was amazing.
Thank you so much, Tamara, I second those opinions too, and thank you all for making this happen.
I wanted to just summarize an email that Tamara sent to our board, which really highlights what we're speaking right now. And I want to leave us with a sentence from that email. And Tamara said, quote, "As we reflect on our past achievements, I believe it is important for us to recognize the potential for our growth and the development that lies ahead so we can continue serving those that we are meant to serve."
Wonderful.
Yeah. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you, everyone.